Hey guys, what's up? It's been a while, about a month since my last video, so I decided to make a new one since I have just upgraded to an Xbox One. Woohoo! That means more games to divide my time into. Yay! But I've got a lot of it anyway, so why not? Now, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is almost 6 years old now. It came out in 2015 and it's now 2021. Yet the graphics still hold up. You know, graphics don't really change over the course of years. It's whether just it looks good or it doesn't. And Assassin's Creed Syndicate still looks good, as you'll see in the footage I have a little later. But I decided that one day I would play Assassin's Creed Syndicate, since it's also one of the most controversial Assassin's Creed games other than Unity, which is considered one of the worst because of its bugs. But I did run into a few bugs in my playthrough, but I didn't run into much, and overall I had a great time with the game. So I'm gonna have some footage of the first memory in sequence 1, and I'll put some commentary over that once we get out of the first cutscene. So yeah, hope you enjoy that, and I'll get back to you very soon.
The iron ships from here. The Templar running things is Rupert Ferris, and our target 1. Target 2 is Sir David Brewster, who's got his hands on a bauble that could ruin us in this wretched war. Think you both can handle it? What a question. All right. My mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, the unstoppable Fry twins. See them nightly at Covent Garden.
George, honestly, I've studied the plans of the laboratory and have every route covered.
And I've got all I need. Right here. I'll extend your regards to Ferris.
Chat later, George. We've a train to catch.
Jacob! Evie! May the green guide you, you vagrants!
Poor man, more afraid than ever. Years have not been kind.
Evie Fry, where did you get it from?
The same place as you, Jacob.
Have fun.
Don't die.
How long does he intend to go on like this? It's disrupting the other workers. It's trapped. Get the machine fixed. And send me some laudanum for my head. Coming right up.
Alright, so I'm back, and now this is the first mission of the game in sequence 1. You start out as Jacob Fry, one of the Fry twins, consisting of Jacob and Evie Fry, as you saw in the first cutscene. Now, they were sent on a mission by their mentor. I don't remember his name because he isn't really. He's more of a side character. You only see him that once throughout the game. But during the first sequence, you just learn the basics. You have 2 missions, one with Evie, one with Jacob. And the first mission you start off with Jacob, which he serves as a tutorial through free running, kind of stealth, combat, and a bunch of other stuff. More like the assassination missions. But yeah. So, you sabotage machines in this first mission to open up the door so you can go kill Rupert Ferris, who is an accomplice of the final villain. You don't really find out who it is until a little later in sequence 2, but his name is Crawford Skerritt, and he's looking for a Shroud of Eden. But you go in, and you'll see what happens to Rupert Ferris. Obviously he dies, but how is completely up to the player. And this is where the game teaches you how to air assassinate, or just assassinate in general, which is X button. And also don't mind the wardrobe changes between cutscenes. I have completed the game to about 67% because I haven't completed all of it. I've only completed the main story and most of the boroughs, which are basically just regions of London that you can conquer to gain control over it and get more stuff. So, the story, well, why is this game a controversial Assassin's Creed game like 3? Well, people say that the graphics weren't as good as Unity, which is true, because Unity, which came before this, had better graphics because the team over at Ubisoft was more focused on the graphics because they were actually testing out a new engine. Assassin's Creed Unity came out with Assassin's Creed Rogue, and Assassin's Creed Rogue used the other graphics engine, and Assassin's Creed Unity used the newest game engine, which revolutionized the graphics of Assassin's Creed games, because as far as I know, they still use the same one. And it still looks amazing in every game. But the main reason that this game was very controversial was because of its story. People thought the story wasn't good. People thought the implication of how you can switch between the Fry twins in free roam wasn't good, and they thought that a certain element, which I'll get to later in the video, made climbing and just free running in general almost pointless, which I don't think so. I played through the game. I put in about 30 hours, maybe more into it already. And yeah, so I think the game is really good. I like it. I will continue playing it. I think it's a great game. I always come back to it, even though I've already finished it, and I've got a ton of grinding to do in Destiny 2, which I have been playing probably an unhealthy amount of. And I may make a video on that later. But I've also been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I also may review after this, because that was the next in the series after Origins, which I will eventually get, because my goal is to play all of the Assassin's Creed games on this gen, because I didn't last gen. I only played 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, and 4, which 4 is my all-time favorite. But, back to Syndicate, people thought the stealth mechanics were better, which is true. I think the stealth mechanics are better in this game than in Unity, but here's a cutscene. I'll stop talking.
Mr. Ferris, sir, the lad in the factory should be taken to be bandaged by the apothecary.
Fine, but dock his wages.
Yes, sir. Shall we arrive at a final price, Mr. Ferris?
Alright, now you see Jacob's target and what he does, which now, at this point in time, 1868, there were no child labor laws, so having children work in dangerous factories where adults should be working and children should have been going to school was very commonplace, which I think was really cool, because most of the associate activity missions are child liberations, where you go into a bunch of workshops like this and you free the children while also killing Sterrick's men, which he leads a rival gang called the Blighters, which you see right now and are the enemies I am currently fighting. Now, Also, the other associate missions, there are bounty hunts, Templar hunts, and the bounty hunts, Templar hunts, child liberations, and gang strongholds. That's right. Plus also gang fights. At the end of a region, once you've completed all of the gang strongholds, child liberations, Templar hunts, and all of that, you'll get a gang war, which is where you'll fight the leader of that region for the region. And once you kill them, then you take over the region. And that's basically how gang warfare works. You also form your own gang called the Rooks, who aid you in a few activities such as gang strongholds and all of those. But some of the gripes that the community had was that there were too many bugs in this game. And I'm not saying that there weren't any. I ran into a few myself, like carriages that despawned out of nowhere. The infamous cutscene where Jacob and Evie take over the region of Whitechapel, and in that final boss fight find the grapple gun, which I will get to later. And Jacob's looking at it on the train that they won by taking over Whitechapel, and Mr. Green, who is also another character, comes in as Evie and Jacob are talking with some stuff, and he says some dialogue. But what came about this is that there was a glitch where Mr. Green was invisible, and he was carrying some stuff, so it was kind of floating, and he just puts it on the table. And Evie, in the cutscene, was stuck in a door. There's another cutscene. I'll stop talking.
It is done. Oh. What did you accomplish, boy? A bolt loosened in Starrick's machine. A large bolt. But not enough. Your Grandmaster will fall. You assassins can circle London to your heart's content. The mechanism we have built has been going strong for 100 years and will run 1,000 more. It is the very city itself. We will take London from your hands. From Croydon. You lurk in the shadows like a coward. I doubt it.
Alright, so I've said all I can about the graphics, which are still amazing, and the voice acting in this game is also really good as well. So let's get into the story. Most fans of the Assassin's Creed series say that this game is one of the worst because of its story. They say that most of it is kind of felt rushed, and some of it kind of mechanical, because there are fights between Jacob and Evie, but there is only really one fight at the end of the game that seems really genuine. Because at the end of the game, they find out that they don't really like each other that much. So they give a, kind of one last, kind of like a this is the last job thing, you know? But in the end, they kind of talk it out and find that their fighting styles actually benefit one another, and they decide to stay and protect London together with Mr. Green. So I would have to agree with that. I did feel like that most twin fights were a little mechanical and kind of one-sided, going over towards Evie's perspective more, which is normally fine. You know, here's also one of the best cutscenes in the game, so I'm going to let you guys watch that.
What's your bottle, boys?
scheduled stop.
Yeah, but other than that, I thought the game was great. I liked the story. I enjoyed playing it, which is, in the end, that's really all that matters. If you have an okay story, it doesn't need to be good as long as you enjoy playing it, which I did. And the introduction of something I'll get to a little later also, I think, made traversal more fun than just climbing. But now I'd like to get into the combat. It's got more kind of Mortal Kombat-ish combo fighting, which I really like. I've played Mortal Kombat before, and I like it. And that's really all there is to say. There are cane swords, kukris, and brass knuckles for weapons. I like the kukris myself. I think they're really great. But now I'd like to get into that thing I was mentioning, the introduction of the grapple gun, which you are seeing gameplay of right now. I used it in the clip you see right here to get on top of Big Ben for a clip you'll see in a little bit. But I really like the grapple gun. I think it's a really good addition to the game, and it fits in Victorian London. Now, the music. The music is amazing. In the clip I'm about to show you, which will also be the last clip, just listen to the amazing music. Now, that's going to be all from me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and also enjoy the music and a nice view around London. See ya.